The hook, my friend, pause. Just pause. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Look around you, look at the life you're living. Every day is a race. The alarm rings and instantly you are on the run. You check your phone, you reply to messages, you rush to work, you handle deadlines, you juggle responsibilities. From dawn to midnight, your mind is a battlefield of to-do lists, plans, and endless noise. And in this cycle, you rarely stop to ask, why am I running? Where am I going? We live in an age where hustle has become a badge of honor. Society celebrates the one who never rests, who burns the midnight oil, who works harder, faster, longer. If you are not hustling, people tell you that you are falling behind. And so you push yourself to the edge, convincing yourself that this struggle will one day bring you happiness, peace, or freedom. But let me ask you, has it ever really brought you those things? Think about it. How many times have you achieved something you desperately chased, only to feel empty again a few days later? You thought, once I get this job, I'll be happy. Once I earn this much, I'll be at peace. Once I reach this milestone, life will finally make sense. But the moment you arrive, the destination vanishes, and another race begins. This is the trap of endless hustle. It promises you fulfillment but keeps you hungry, always hungry for more. What if I told you that life is not meant to be a never-ending marathon? That the constant chase is not proof of your strength, but evidence of your disconnection from yourself. True strength is not in running faster, it is in knowing when to stop. True wisdom is not in filling every silence with action, but in embracing the silence itself. Pause for a moment and notice, even nature does not hustle endlessly. The ocean has tides, it rises and falls. The moon has phases, it shines and then disappears. It does not bear fruit every day. It rests, it absorbs, it renews. And yet, without this rhythm of rest and action, creation itself would collapse. Why then do you believe you are above this law of existence? The truth is this. The greatest secret to power, clarity, and inner peace is hidden not in more effort, but in stillness. When you stop, when you allow yourself to be still, a doorway opens. Inside that doorway is not weakness, but infinite strength. Inside that silence is not emptiness, but a deep connection to the source of life itself. So, before we go any further, I ask you, stop hustling for just this moment. Let your mind breathe. Let your heart speak. For it is in this very pause, this very silence, that your journey of awakening begins. The illusion of hustle. We live in a culture where movement is mistaken for progress, and busyness is confused with purpose. From childhood, we are told, work harder, push more, don't stop. And so we grow into adults who measure our worth by how exhausted we feel at the end of the day. If we are tired, we think we must have achieved something. If we are stressed, we think it means we are important. But deep inside, we know this is not the truth. Imagine a man running on a treadmill. His body is drenched in sweat, his heart is pounding, his muscles ache, but when he finally stops, he realizes he has gone nowhere. This is what hustle without direction feels like. We are running, we are sweating, we are exhausting ourselves, yet when we pause to reflect, we often find ourselves standing in the exact same place, disconnected, unfulfilled, and confused. This illusion of hustle is seductive. It makes us believe we are moving closer to our dreams, but in reality, it often takes us further away. You might earn more money, yes. You might gather recognition, titles, or applause, but ask yourself, what have you lost along the way? Your peace, your health, your relationships, your sense of who you really are? What is the value of all your achievements if, at the end of the day, your soul feels empty? Society praises the one who never stops, but rarely do we pause to honor the wisdom of rest. We look at someone who takes time to breathe, to reflect, to be still, and we label them as lazy, unproductive, or unambitious. Yet the irony is this: the greatest breakthroughs, the deepest insights, and the most powerful decisions do not come in the noise of constant action. They are born in moments of silence when the mind finally slows down enough to hear the whispers of truth. Think about the times in your life when clarity struck you. Did it come when you were buried under tasks and owning in deadlines? Or did it come in a quiet walk, a peaceful morning, a pause where your mind was calm enough to receive wisdom? The illusion of hustle convinces us that doing more is always the answer. But the reality is that sometimes doing less opens the door to everything we have been searching for. Even nature teaches this lesson. The farmer who endlessly digs the soil will destroy his field. The artist who never steps away from his canvas will lose sight of the bigger picture. The musician who plays without pause creates nothing but noise. Life itself has rhythm, sound and silence, day and night, movement and rest. Without balance, there is no harmony. Without stillness, there is no power. So reflect for a moment. Are you truly progressing, or are you only busy? Are you chasing life, or are you living it? The illusion of hustle will keep you running in circles forever. But when you dare to pause, when you dare to question the race, you will discover that the real journey begins not in constant action, but in conscious stillness. The power of inaction. When people hear the word inaction, they immediately think of laziness, idleness, or wasted time. But in truth, inaction is not the absence of power. It is the presence of a deeper power. It is not about doing nothing in the shallow sense, but about stepping back to allow a greater intelligence to work through you. Think about the seed buried in the soil. It does not hustle. It does not force its growth. It does not struggle day and night. Instead, it surrenders to the rhythm of nature. Quietly, silently, without visible action, it begins to transform. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. But beneath the soil, in the unseen, roots are forming, life is awakening, and a miracle is taking shape. This is the power of inaction. It allows transformation to happen naturally, without resistance. Now compare that with the way we often live. We push, we force, we exhaust ourselves trying to make things happen on our own timeline. And when life does not bend to our will, we become frustrated, anxious, even hopeless. But the truth is, life was never designed to be forced. The river does not rush to reach the ocean. It simply flows, and eventually it arrives. The sun does not hurry to rise. It simply shines at the appointed time. Inaction means aligning yourself with this natural flow instead of fighting against it. Some of the greatest minds in history discovered their best ideas, not in a frenzy of activity, but in stillness. Archimedes found his revelation about displacement not in the lab, but while resting in a bath. Einstein would often sit in silence, letting his thoughts wander until clarity would strike. Even spiritual masters, whether it was Jesus in the wilderness, the Prophet Muhammad in the cave of Hira, or the Buddha under the Bodhi tree, found enlightenment not through relentless activity, but through sacred stillness. Inaction, HENG, is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the understanding that life's deepest answers are not forced, but revealed. When you stop filling every second with noise and motion, you create space for insight, creativity, and guidance to enter. You allow your inner voice, the one that is drowned out by constant hustle, to finally be heard. And here lies the paradox. By embracing inaction, you become more effective in action. Just as an archer must pause before releasing the arrow, just as a musician must leave space between the notes to create melody, you too must embrace the pause to make your actions powerful. Without stillness, your energy is scattered. With stillness, your energy is focused, unstoppable. So the next time you feel lost, overwhelmed, or restless, remember, you don't always need to do more. Sometimes the most powerful step is to step back. Sometimes the greatest progress comes when you stop moving. And in that pause, in that sacred stillness, you will find the strength, clarity, and guidance that endless hustle could never give you. The spiritual lesson. Across time and across cultures, the greatest masters have whispered the same truth. Stillness awakens the soul. The lesson is simple but powerful. When you stop doing, you start being. And in that being, you discover the treasure hidden within yourself. Think about the Buddha. He spent years chasing enlightenment through effort, studying, fasting, pushing his body to its limits. Yet wisdom did not arrive in those years of struggle. It came when he finally sat under the Bodhi tree in silence, doing nothing but being present. In that moment of surrender, his eyes opened and he saw reality as it truly is. It was not hustle that brought his awakening. It was stillness. Consider the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Before his mission began, he would retreat to the cave of Hira, away from the noise of Mecca. In those quiet nights of reflection, he received revelation that changed the course of history. It was not while running in the marketplace that he heard the divine voice. It was in solitude, in silence. Look at Jesus of Nazareth. He often withdrew to the mountains or the wilderness, not to perform, not to strive, but to pray in stillness. And from those silent retreats came the strength to heal, to teach, to lead. His greatest power flowed not from constant action, but from moments of deep connection with the source of all life. And it is not only the prophets or saints who knew this truth. Even in Eastern traditions, sages and monks would go into the mountains, practicing meditation and silence. The Shaolin masters, the yogis of India, the Zen monks of Japan, all understood that stillness is not a waste of time, but the key to mastering both the mind and the spirit. So what is the lesson for us? It is this: you are more than your achievements, more than your busyness, more than the endless list of tasks you complete each day. Your true self is Ha, hidden beneath the noise of constant doing. And to meet that self, to awaken to it, you must enter the silence. When you allow yourself to be still, you discover that you are not separate from the universe. You are part of it. You begin to feel a quiet presence within, something eternal, unshaken by circumstances. In that space, fear dissolves, anxiety weakens, and clarity rises. The spiritual lesson is that you don't have to strive to be worthy. You already are. You don't have to prove your value through constant work. Your very existence is valuable. The world may tell you to hustle, but the Spirit invites you to pause. The world may say, do more. The soul whispers, be more. And when you choose being overdoing, something miraculous happens. You awaken to your true identity, not as a machine built for labor, but as a soul built for connection, peace, and infinite growth. So remember, the masters found their power not in noise, but in silence. And so can you. The call to practice. Inspiration without practice is like a seed never planted. You may listen to these words, you may nod in agreement, but true transformation will only come when you begin to practice the art of stillness in your own life. The journey does not start in some distant future. It begins right here, right now, in this very moment. So how do we practice the power of inaction? It starts with something so simple, yet so rare in today's world. A pause. Just a pause. Take a moment each day, even if only for 5 minutes, to stop everything. Put away your phone, step away from the noise, close your eyes, and breathe. Do nothing, think nothing, strive for nothing. Simply allow yourself to be. At first, your mind will resist. It will throw thoughts at you, whisper worries, replay conversations. But if you stay with the silence, if you breathe through the restlessness, you will begin to taste the sweetness of stillness. You do not need a mountain cave or a temple to practice this. Your practice can begin in your room, on your balcony, in the quiet corner of your workplace, even in the middle of a busy street with closed eyes and a slow breath. Stillness is not about the place, it is about the state of your being. Wherever you are, you can choose to stop, even for a moment, and connect with the silence within. Make this a daily ritual. Just as you feed your body with food, feed your soul with silence. Start with a few minutes in the morning before the day's rush begins. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and simply notice the rise and fall of your breath. Do nothing more. With time, you can extend it to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or longer. But remember, this is not a competition. This is not another hustle. This is your sacred space of renewal. And as you practice, you will notice a shift. Your thoughts will become clearer. Your emotions will calm. Decisions that once felt heavy will become lighter. Problems that seemed impossible will begin to dissolve in the clarity of your silence. You will begin to act not from panic, but from peace. Not from fear, but from wisdom. Even beyond meditation, you can weave stillness into the fabric of your day. When you walk, walk slowly and notice the ground beneath your feet. When you eat, eat mindfully, tasting each bite instead of rushing. When you listen to someone, truly listen without preparing your reply. Each of these simple acts is a form of inaction, a pause that connects you to the present moment. This is the practice: to choose being overdoing, presence over pressure, silence over noise. And the beauty of it is that anyone can begin, no matter how busy, no matter how restless. All it takes is a willingness to stop, to breathe, to be. So today I invite you, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, to carve out a small pocket of stillness for yourself. Let it be your sanctuary. Protect it fiercely. For in that sacred practice of inaction, you will discover strength greater than any hustle could ever give you. The closing inspiration. My friend, we began this journey with a simple question. Must life always be a race? Must you always hustle, push, and chase to prove your worth? By now, you can feel the answer rising within you. No. Life was never meant to be an endless struggle. It was meant to be lived with awareness, with presence, with peace. When you stop hustling, when you dare to pause, you are not giving up. You are rising up. You are stepping into a greater rhythm, the rhythm of the universe itself. Hustle belongs to the ego, but stillness belongs to the soul. The ego wants to collect trophies, titles, possessions. The soul longs for freedom, truth, and connection. And every time you choose stillness, you choose the soul. Think of the river. It does not resist, yet it carves valleys and shapes landscapes. Think of the sky. It does not chase, yet it holds the stars, the moon, the sun. Think of the tree. It does not run after sunlight, yet it grows tall and strong, bearing fruit in its own season. Inaction, in its highest form, is alignment with the natural flow of existence. And when you align with that flow, life begins to carry you where you were always meant to be. The great paradox of stillness is that it does not make you less effective, it makes you more. When you learn to pause, you begin to act with clarity. Your steps become fewer, but each step carries power. Your words become fewer, but each word carries weight. Your actions become less scattered, but far more impactful. This is the true strength hidden in inaction. So as you move forward from this moment, carry this wisdom with you. You do not need to do more to become more. You do not need to prove your worth through endless struggle. You are already enough, already whole, already connected to the infinite. The power you are searching for outside has been within you all along, waiting in the silence, calling you home. Take this as your invitation. Each day, choose at least one moment to pause, to step away from the noise, to close your eyes and breathe. In that moment, remember, you are not just a body running through tasks. You are a soul awakening to truth. Let your stillness be your strength, your silence be your teacher, your inaction be your greatest action. And when doubt creeps in, when the world pressures you to keep running, remind yourself of this. Hustle may chase success, but stillness awakens greatness. Hustle may build empires, but stillness builds souls. Hustle may impress the world, but stillness connects you to the divine. So stop hustling for just a moment. Step into the sacred pause. And there, in that silence, you will discover the secret power of inaction, the power to live fully, to awaken deeply, and to shine endlessly. As we come to the end of this journey together, pause with me for just a moment. Think about everything you have heard. We began with the race of life, the endless hustle that consumes our days, the treadmill that makes us run but takes us nowhere. We explored how society glorifies busyness, how we are conditioned to believe that more effort equals more value. But along the way, we uncovered a truth so often overlooked, that the deepest strength, the truest clarity, and the highest wisdom are found not in doing more, but in doing less. Inaction, as we discovered, is not laziness. It is not weakness. It is the courageous choice to step away from the noise so that you can hear the voice within. It is the understanding that when you stop chasing, life has space to unfold naturally. Just as the seed grows in silence, just as the river flows without force, your spirit too finds its power in stillness. The masters of every age taught us this lesson. Buddha under the Bodhi tree, the Prophet Muhammad in the cave of Hira, Jesus in the quiet wilderness, sages and mystics across the world who withdrew into silence to find their connection to the infinite. Their example reminds us that true transformation is not the result of endless activity, but of deep presence. And if they, the greatest souls to walk this earth, embraced stillness, why should we be afraid to do the same? The invitation, then, is simple. Carry this wisdom into your own life. Take moments each day to pause, to breathe, to be. In those moments, you will discover that the world does not collapse when you stop. On the contrary, your mind resets, your heart expands, and your path becomes clearer than ever before. What once felt heavy begins to feel light. What once seemed impossible begins to dissolve in the clarity of silence. Remember, hustle may win applause, but stillness wins peace. Hustle may bring temporary success, but stillness awakens eternal wisdom. Hustle may build wealth, but stillness builds the soul. And in the end, it is the soul that truly matters. So my friend, stop running for a moment. Put down the burdens you have been carrying. Step into the sacred pause. Let yourself experience the miracle of being present. For in that pause, you will discover the secret power of inaction, the power to live with purpose, to awaken your spirit, and to connect with the infinite source of life itself. This is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning. A beginning where you no longer chase life, but allow life to flow through you. A beginning where you no longer measure your worth by how much you do, but by how deeply you are. A beginning where you awaken to the truth that your stillness is your greatest strength. Stop hustling, start being, and watch how everything you were chasing begins to find its way to you.